Hey, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you're joining in. We're excited to be back once again. Welcome to Talk Lounge Zambia. This is practically a platform for us to be able to have conversation and change the face of our country. And if you're passionate about Zambia, if you're passionate about transforming the lives of people in this country, this is a platform that we have to be able to just share and stretch ourselves and add value to our country and who we are. So do me a favor as we're getting started. I'm asking you to share and invite. Please do me a favor. We're building a platform that is going to be able to be the voice and transform how Zambia looks like in the next 5 years. I'm a visionary, so every time I birth and build, I'm always thinking the future. I'm not thinking about now. I don't have the ISO mentality. Give me my soup now. Let me eat it now. And let's get to move on and forget about anything. We're building for the future. Good to see all of you. Please do me a favor. I want to know what city, what country, you're joining in from. And one other thing you need to do is share, on a number of platforms that we have, bring in as many people as possible. So to be part of our conversation tonight. It's good to see all of you. David Jr., good to see you. Welcome. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for joining in. We see all of you guys. Please do me a favor, share and invite and bring in as many people as possible. Let's have an amazing time. David, what's happening? Good to have you. Thank you for joining in. Good to have all of you guys that are coming in. But do me a favor, I want you to share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I know you watch us on Facebook, but go to our YouTube channel, do the subscribing on that platform. Let's grow the brand and let's stretch, what we're doing. Pastor Chris, good evening. How's Chapata? Can you hear
Good
me, Pastor
evening,
Chris?
Coach.
Good evening. How's Chapata
How are you
doing?
doing?
Good. Is there a lag? Like, am I clear?
Yeah, today you seem to be the one with the challenging internet. We hope that as we progress, it's going to pick up. It's dragging.
Oh,
It's
really?
lagging. Yeah,
Okay. So, being in
yeah.
Zambia, let me try and do this. I'm gonna change. One of the things I've learned being a Zambian is you have to have five internet. If you look at my office, I got one, two, three. So I'm gonna switch to another one. What a way to
I hope I'm not the one who is having problem. Um,
is it better now?
yeah, it's better. Even your picture quality has actually suddenly improved.
Internet.
Yeah, it's looking great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for the feedback because I was gonna feel like my internet is okay. So everybody, welcome. So today we're doing part two of our conversation that we started. We're looking at I think there's a bit of an echo on your end. So we're just changing. I don't
My
know whether it's
end.
my
Okay.
end. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. So today we're doing, so everyone that is joining in, please type out your name, your city, your country, your question, and your contribution. No body viewing, guys. Please, you're not just here to hear us talk and have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Be part of it. Type out your comments. Leave out your comments. And be part of a conversation. We want you to be part of a conversation because we believe that each one of us needs to, be able to add value to what we're doing. So today we're doing part two. We're talking about the new dawn, mindset. New Dawn Mindset Leadership Part 2. So we started, this is our third week. The first week we spoke about the mindset, changing the mindset. How do we begin to change the mindset? How do we begin to work on our mindset? What does it look like to have a new dawn mindset? You know, it's a different season, and we have to go head first. Before anything changes in this country, there has to be a change of mindset. So we're looking at critical components of our lives, our country, Zambia, and we looked at the mindset. We spoke about leadership last week. Today we're doing part 2 on leadership. Pastor Chris, you're a leader. You've been a leader for a number of years. What does leadership look like to you?
You can say that statement again, Coach. I think I missed it.
Okay,
I just said you are a leader, and I didn't get the last part.
Okay, so I was saying that you are a leader, and you've been a leader for many years. What does leadership look like to you?
Wow, interesting, and I think that is a wonderful, Coach. That's a brilliant question that needs to be handled. What does leadership looks like? A surprising thing, actually, that we have observed is that I have made several mistakes, actually, in the area of Christian leadership, where you choose leaders based on what you can see probably outside, and you end up making several mistakes in your own life. Sometimes just because somebody has the ability to speak, then you think that he has the qualities of a leader. And sometimes you see that somebody has the ability to give, and you think that if you give him a leadership position, he is going to actually do more, and yet you actually create disaster for your own self, because the ability to give does not qualify somebody to be to have the leadership mentality. And the other thing that I've seen is that if you don't actually pick it up from Christ's point of view in terms of leadership, you definitely have crisis. And I am looking at it in two ways. First of all, I'm looking at it on the country level, where we have been told that Zambia is a Christian nation. If it is, then the expectation that is out there is that we should have leadership kind of a model that is made of Christian principles or Christ principles centered on Christ. Now, if it's the leadership that is centered on Christ on the national level, that simply means even on your individual level, you must portray the Christ kind of leadership. Now, if you check the Christ kind of leadership, you are going to understand that it's totally different with the world kind of leadership. Jesus was trying to say, if you are going to be a leader in this world, you are going to be on top there. That means you have people around you that are going to serve you. But if you check the language of the president, actually, you will see something very interesting. It says our leadership is a servant kind of leadership. And that is a Christ model kind of leadership, where you do not think of being on the top there, but you think of what is it that we can do for the people. In other words, you become a servant of all. You become the servant of the people. That is the leadership mindset that is Christ oriented, and that is the leadership that I am hearing today. And I hope that I will see that type of leadership that I see in church. That's the one that I want to see on that level, where we have our political leaders who are going to change the mindset, because a leader is a ladder.
That's powerful. Wow,
A leader is
great. Miss Chomba Walker, I'm good to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Glad to see you, Pastor Chris.
Thank you so very much. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
So a leader
Am I
is a
suspecting
ladder,
that my
coach.
internet is a mess today? Come again?
Yeah,
Oh,
we can continue.
okay.
I'll say it seems like there's a bit of a delay. Is it my internet or because I changed my internet?
Yeah, your internet
Probably
is
it's
okay
on
now.
your side. It's okay. We can hear
Yeah, it's
you
okay now.
just fine.
But I think it's breaking. You are breaking, and Pastor Chris is breaking. So I don't know whether I am clear.
To
I think
us, you
it's
are
you
very
now.
clear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can see there's a delay, yeah, in when you're getting us after a second or so.
Yeah. So, and I've changed. I've already changed the internet. So I'm gonna be changing to the third one. You know. So I've changed two so far. So
Oh
let's see
shit.
how it goes. So,
Mhm.
so we're talking about leadership. What does leadership look like to you, Miss Chumba?
Well, for me, I would say that leadership is influence. And
Yeah.
yeah, this is influence. It's about leading people to a desired destination or a desired goal. And like one famous coach or teacher says, if you are leading and no one is following you, then you're simply taking a walk. You are
Yeah.
not leading. Yeah, leading is not doing. Some people begin to do, they're doing so much work and they think they are leading, but no, leading has to be very visionary. You have a vision as a leader, and you are leading people to a desired destination, to a desired goal, and you are influencing people to turn into that particular direction. So people have to follow your lead. People have to follow where you're taking them to. And it's about being able to cast your vision to the people that you are influencing, being able to explain nicely to them what your desired destination looks like, what your goals looks like, what your vision and mission look like, so that people can follow you in those steps. It is also about you knowing that you are the source of that vision and you are there to provide direction and also there to help people to overcome obstacles when you are faced with obstacles in your journey as you are headed towards your desired vision. So for me, that's how I look at leadership. It's about someone knowing where they are taking the people to. And I think in this new dawn government so far, we can see the president knowing where he is taking the people, even though there are a few people who are rising up to say, well, it's already a fail and the like. Yeah, so that's what leadership is to me, coach.
I didn't get the last part.
Okay, has he fallen out there?
Finally, he has gone out,
Oh,
though he didn't get the last part. I
didn't
think
get the last part.
he'll be joining us.
So
So he
anyway,
wanted you to emphasize.
uh-huh. So I must also say that I will be leaving at 2025. I really just popped in and will be dashing to another prior engagement. But, coach, what I was saying is that we can see our president
Yeah.
right now, our president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, that he is trying to lead the nation to a desired vision. And of
Yeah.
course, we cannot guarantee that everyone is at the same level yet. But you can
Yeah.
see that the president is leading us to a certain destination. He has a vision of what this nation should look like. He has that vision, and now it's up to him as a leader. I'm making all my comments in one in case I don't get another chance to say
Okay.
anything on the show tonight.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
I,
so it's up to him now, the president, to engage the people of Zambia constantly, not
mm,
once, not twice, not
mm,
3 times, but many times, to communicate vision. We need more vision casting from him because he is the leader. And then for every vision, there are runners. So us, the runners in the nation, must hear him speak to us more often, to give us the vision, to give us the direction so that we may run, those of us who will hear this vision, that we may run with it. So the runners will wait for the leader to communicate vision, and that's what the president must do. He must do it time and time again in this 5-year tenure, so that we can all be at the same level. Otherwise, other people will lag behind, and other people will want to draw him backwards. He needs to direct that vision. He needs to make sure he's showing us the concrete plan for fulfilling that vision. How are we going to get to that desired Zambia, the Zambia we want? How are we going to get there? What is my role as a lay citizen, as an ordinary citizen? What is my role as clergy? What is my role as a minister? Okay, the ministers in the government, the MPs, everybody, what is their role in this vision? And he needs to make sure he helps us to have faith in that vision, to believe in it. That is what leadership calls for. It doesn't mean that he must do everything, but he must communicate the vision with clarity to us so that we can buy into it and have faith in it and work with him together.
wow, you just said quite a lot of stuff in a short space of time. And just for me hearing you and listening to you, it says we got a lot of things. We got like what you just described in a few minutes says this is a lot of work. Do you think the government, the president understands that that's what it looks like and the Zambians are ready to be able to run with that and take on all those things?
I think it's half half. Everything seems very easy until you begin to implement it. And sometimes, if you don't write your vision down, you may also not get it. That's why we have it in the Bible, in Habakkuk. We are told that write the vision down and make it plain. When you are told to make it plain, it means that everyone must be able to read that vision and be able to understand what you are saying. When you put that picture, vision is very futuristic. It's about the type of future we want. Now,
Yeah.
vision, it's every one of us has got eyesight. But as they say, the greatest gift ever given to mankind is not the gift of sight, but it is the vision. Sight is a function of the eyes, but vision is a function of the heart.
Yeah.
So the heart must be able to connect. It must be able to see and feel what the future should look like. And so the president has a very big task ahead of us as a nation. He has a task to visualize the type of Zambia he wants to see. And he has a task to show us what that Zambia should look like so that our hearts can connect with him. It's a big task. He must also make sure the parliamentarians have connected with that vision so that they are in one accord. If we are not in one accord as a nation, we are not going to move very quickly as we are supposed to. And we are lagging behind in the developmental agendas as a nation. So we need to make sure we move in one accord. And moving in one accord requires that the leader casts vision, as we can see, like in Nehemiah. He clearly casts vision and helps the king to see. He helps other people to see where he is going, what the Lord spoke to him first. And so that's what we need from our president.
That's powerful. Sanderson, welcome. Good to have you.
Thank you.
How's it going? You sound like you're on the move.
The man was on the move. He's always on the move.
Hear
This
me?
man is always on the move. I was telling him earlier on and says, "Do you ever relax?" I actually told him and says, "You need." Guess what? Guess what he said? I told him, "You need a PA. You need to slow down because you are always on the move." He says, "I just need a spa in Livingston," and I said, "I'll talk to Tom." That was in the afternoon when I was speaking to
Oh
him.
my
This
So
one
he
doesn't
doesn't
rest.
he
He's
God.
always
doesn't
on the
need a
move.
PA. He just needs the spa.
That too. I don't know if you can, yeah, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
we
Can you
Yes.
hear
can.
me, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so I just got on the road. But yeah, I think this is such an important subject, and really, like how I really feel that this has to be our state, something that I think has to be a nationwide, discussion somehow, because as Chomba was saying, the vision is very important. Now, all of us here understand because we know what it is to work with people, to work with different teams, to build something from scratch. And we know the challenges that surround that and the challenges that surround bringing new people on board and the team dynamics and, the wins and the losses, the challenges and the hurdles that we have to go through. So when I look at President right now, I totally agree to say, he's brought that vision very well. Where is it taking us? Because I think the danger is to just get into government or get into a new company or start a new venture without really counting the costs, but also without casting the vision. Where are we going? Without vision, my people perish. That's what the Bible says. So how is the president going to cast that vision, and will everybody cast that vision? For instance, like I said a few weeks ago, the ministers and the peers and everybody has been appointed. They've never been ministers before. They're coming from different backgrounds. And so this is a different ballgame. So unless they get in sync with the vision, then you're gonna have a lot of divisions because each one will be pulling this direction and one will be pulling the other direction and the other one will pull another direction. How do we synchronize? How do we sync? How do we have the Zambia that we desire to see happen? Because really the mindset is a big deal. The president might get it, he might know exactly where we're going, but it's everybody else in his team know exactly how to execute and how to get to where we need to get. So that I think is very critical to be able to, yes, there's putting fires and there's a lot of these things that needs to be made right, but that is not the focus. The focus really has to be in the midst of all these things that have gone wrong. What is the direction that we need to be heading? We need to be headed a particular direction, and that direction has to be set. Because we can't spend a year. Yes, there's the mismanagement of funds and resources, but there's critical things that need to be happening in terms of us moving forward as a country, and that will really take visionary leadership to be able to share that vision that everybody thinks in and can be able to see what he's seeing. Failure to that, there's going to be a lot of divisions happening, and that's what's happening before.
Wow, I get you and I hear you. Miss Chomba had to leave because she's got another assignment. Before I get back to Pastor Chris and everyone that is watching, if you're watching and you're watching, you're listening, please throw in your comments, your questions, your observations. We'll be able to go through them and look at them. But I'm gonna read something from J. Oswald Sanders. Uh, you know, um, and he says leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. It is about influencing others in a worthwhile cause. It is not dependent on titles or positions. It is dependent on someone catching a vision from God, mobilizing others to join them in its fulfillment. When this happens, leadership arises in its purest form. It happens to every organization at one point or another, especially when there's no system or plan. in those times, there's no expectation of progress. When there's no system or plan in those times, there's no expectation of progress. Today, many regions of the world are crying for godly, effective leaders. The leader must earn the right to lead and others to choose to follow. Pastor Chris.
Yes, sir. Wow, what a rich statement that we have there, Coach.
And I know you touched it, and I know when you did your preamble, you touched a bit on it because you were speaking about Zambia being a Christian nation and us speaking from those lessons and working around them.
Yeah. I like the way we have brought it up, and we have brought it up in a clear way that for you to be a leader, you must be a man of influence, and for you to be a leader, you must cast your vision to the people in the way that they understand your vision. But one thing that we also have to know very quickly, apart from the ability of influence, there is something that you see. Whenever we have a mentality of leaders that are coming with that mind that I'm going to get something, we have already lost it. Okay, the moment the mindset is that I am going there and I'm going to get something, we can't achieve anything. We can't go anywhere. But when we have a leader, we are talking of a man that is resourceful. A leader is, we are talking of a man that, number one, he knows what to do in order to accomplish the goals that are required. Okay, we are talking of a man that he says, I will know how things are going to be done. In our own modern terminology, we are saying that it's going to be fixed. Okay, so a leader must know how to fix certain things. If you just can't know how to fix certain things or to do certain things, then your leadership is failing. And what the Zambian people are waiting for, they are waiting for somebody that is going to fix certain things that they have seen that these are wrong things. And we are waiting. Is he going to fix them? Is he going to get the job done? So a leader is somebody that is a skillful doer. All he does is there is skill in it. And so far, one thing that we have come to appreciate as Zambian people when we look at the political leadership, of course, our leadership, we are not just looking at it in the political arena, because there are even some of the institutions that are suffering right now because of the crisis of leadership. We are seeing that even the church sometimes can suffer if the leadership is not correct. We know that some institutions can suffer because the leadership is not correct. A leader is somebody that knows, first of all, his purpose, his goal, and is somebody, this is very clear. You have to know, what is my purpose for these 5 years? What is my purpose for these 10 years? What is my assignment? What is it that I'm sent to achieve in this period that I am in? Or what is the purpose of my leadership skill in this institution that I am in? So you need to know that, and you need to know how to have your work to be done. Now, a leader is somebody who has the know-how at his hand. He knows how to use what he has in order to achieve the goal. That simply means he relies on the skill and skillful people. In our own setup, we would say he relies on the anointing and the Spirit of God and the talent of God. But we are talking of in terms of the worldly kind of the setup. So he knows that he has the skill, and he's also going to surround himself with skillful people. And he's somebody that knows that I have the knowledge, I know what to do, how to do it, and I must also engage people that know what to do and how to do it. And he's also have somebody that relies on the ability of wisdom, because wisdom is a crucial thing. In wisdom, in how you speak to the people, to mobilize people and to organize people. And one thing that I want to see a situation of Jesus type, of David type. This is what I want to see. I want to see a situation where we are saying that we are starting from the scratch. We are just from the ground there. I want to see a situation where Jesus is picking people that were thought of that they can't achieve anything in their own life. He goes to the least of these people. He transforms them. He imparts knowledge in them. He imparts skill in them. And these are 12 people that have brought the gospel to every corner of the world. Every corner, because he trained these 12 guys very well. He developed them so that the people that feel if we are not there, it can't work. We have to be there for it to work. We have to be there for the results to come. But we want to see a situation where we are saying when it comes to resourceful people in Zambia, we have under somebody that is skillful and somebody that has the knowledge and somebody that has the wisdom, and he developed. I want to see a type of David kind who was surrounding himself with the people that were in debt, people that were non-entities, people that were nobodies, people that the society thought that they can't achieve anything. These are the team that I want to see, that they have the ability to transform, like the 12 transformed the gospel, like the guys of David transformed, they became giant killer. So I want to see, because already we have known that when it comes to leadership, when it comes to articulation of things, our president is there. But is he able to get along with other people that are from the scratch and bring them to a level where they will also become giant killer like himself? These are the things that we want to see.
Because I wanted to hear you clear. I forgot I muted myself because I wanted to hear you clear. So
Okay.
you brought up very critical things, and I'm very passionate about leadership. And I believe that, I think having run a business that does corporate training and developing people, one of the critical things that you notice is that there's not a lot of people that are really, there's not so many inspirational leaders. Transformative leadership is something that our country needs, a lot of organization needs, a lot of the church needs. So in most of the spaces that we're living, there's not so many leaders that are able to bring their A game to the table to be able to influence and inspire people. And one of the critical things is, I was having a conversation with somebody today, and I said, you should see me in motion when I'm fighting for my customers, my clients. Because one of the things I believe in is that every time I take on clients in my business, it's my responsibility to be able to help them win. And I believe that that's also one critical component of leadership. I kind of feel sometimes like I'm a lawyer, because if you come after my clients, I come after you, because I strongly believe that it's integrity. For you, when you run an organization, when you run a business, you need to have those critical components of your life where you are able to bring your best. I'm in the corporate space, I'm in the church space, I'm in communities, and one thing that breaks my heart is that we don't see the leadership that influences, because that's a definition of leadership. The ability to be able to influence people, the ability to be able to cause people to look at you and say, I want to follow this man, I want to follow this woman, which is very, very critical. And coupled with that influence is the ability to be able to be visionary. I'm changing my business card because my business card says CEO. But I had somebody who provoked me to edit my business cards. Simon Sinek is one of the men that follow. He says, he was teaching the difference between CEO and CEV. He replaced the O with the V. He says Chief CVE, Chief Visionary Officer. Wow. There's a lot of CEOs, but there are a few Chief Visionary Officers. your role and your ability as a leader is to be visionary. This is why even my mission states that I help visionary leaders. So if you're not a visionary leader, you're not my ideal client.
Wow.
Be- because my capacity is to be able to help leaders, corporate leaders, entrepreneurs that are visionary. Because if you're visionary, then you can take what I'm able to pour into you, because that's how I am wired. And this is what you
That
see lacking in churches. This is what you see lacking in organizations. This is what you see lacking in this country. One of the things I've said over the years, I've said I look forward to see a day when Zambia is going to have a visionary leader. That's what I've said over the years. My statement has been very consistent. So when we are talking about leadership, it's something that I strongly believe will be able to transform the way this country looks like. Not academics,
true.
not money,
True.
and all these things are powerful, but we need leaders that are able to push the game to the next level. We need leaders that are visionary enough to be able to challenge the country, to be able to push Zambians to be able to say we are ready to take in. One,
That's
yeah, yeah, you wanted
that's true, coach.
yeah,
That's very true. You see, at this new dawn where we are right now, what is expected from I love your concept, and I love the way it's going. But at the moment, what our expectation is, apart from seeing that things are going to be fixed in all the angles, in all the areas, what is expected now are leaders that must be able to skillfully communicate. So a
yeah,
good leader is a good communicator. In
yeah,
other words, we are expecting to see good leaders that are going to communicate, that is ability to pass across their vision. Okay.
mhm,
Just that ability to pass across their vision is very key. Ability to pass across their ideas, the instructions that they want to see in the nation. That is, so a good leader is a good communicator. That is ability to even express just themselves. I think that is
yeah,
a key leadership. Already there have been a lot of recommendation and commendation that have actually come because of the way that you are able to express yourself. There are people
yeah,
that may not like you, coach, but they may
yeah,
like the way you express yourself because you are able to stand out and speak and
yeah,
communicate. The 5 minutes that you are given, you are able to give them sensible thing that they can pick from what you are saying. So one thing that is clear right now, what do our leaders want
yeah,
from the people? What do they want? What should the people do? It's on the stand still. It's like, what do you, it's like people in church. If there is any place where there is bunch of resources, it's in church, because a church has got everyone that you may think of. And I usually tell the young guys that go to the higher learning institution, I said, you are going there so that it helps you to serve God better. When you come, you don't expect the church to be on the same level where you left it. That means when you come, you should come with those ideas, and then we do church with a new kind of mindset to touch the people in your level. I don't expect you, coach, to be in my church and then we are doing church as business as usual without getting from the abilities and the resources that you have. I don't
That's it.
expect you to do that.
That's gonna be a debate for another day, Pastor Chris, because I strongly believe that that's gonna be a debate for another day, because yeah, I strongly believe the church is not ready for people like us. So unfortunately, you may desire to see a lot of those things, Pastor Chris, but most pastors are not ready for leadership. They are ready to
Wow.
rule, and
Wow.
I don't speak from without. I speak because I strongly believe that that's why the church is where it is, because gifted people, powerful people, you know, are not received. I personally know that, you know, in most churches, what the world is paying me for, the church can get it for free, but they choose not to. In fact, the thing I can give them for free, they want to fight me for it. So tell me, where do you expect me to be? You know, I'm gonna be more, I'm gonna spend more time. And it's a sad scenario. We're seeing the church struggle because church leaders are not in most, let me not do a generalization, most church leaders are not good with leadership. They can preach, but they can't lead. And one of the things you look at when you talk about leadership is a leader hires people that are more intelligent than him and lets them do the work. And that's one of the things I strongly believe the church has failed to do. You know, to be able to bring in excellent, intelligent people and get out of their way and let them create magic. Here's one of the reasons I have a lot of respect for Bishop T.D. Jakes. One of the reasons why Bishop T.D. Jakes is successful. In fact, I was having a conversation with a certain pastor two days ago, and I said one of the reasons why I have a lot of respect for Bishop T.D. Jakes is he's an old man who knows how to build relationships with the younger generation, and the younger generation creates a powerful brand for Bishop T.D. Jakes. He doesn't have to sit to write all the books. He doesn't have to sit to be able to know what are the tech trends. He has a team that is powerful enough that says, Bishop, stand here, and here's what I am going to create as you stand. Deliver what you're good, and I will create magic for what you're about to deliver. And he's able to get out of their way so that they can be able to create magic. And guess what, Pastor Chris? We don't even know those young people. We don't even know them. But we know Bishop T.D. Jakes. We know Bishop T.D. Jakes. But one of the reasons why he's in tune with the times, when you look at his lighting, Bishop doesn't know anything much about lighting. You see how excellent his background is, because he allows young people. I'll give an example. He does a leadership conference. Look at the young people. Look at the people that are speaking. It's the young people. If he brings in an older man on his space, he's gonna bring in Bishop Tudor Bismarck. And you know why Bishop Tudor Bismarck is brought on the same platform? Is because Bishop Tudor Bismarck is an old man that understands the time. He's a man from the past, but lives in the future.
Yeah.
So
wow.
So now that's what I said. That's a conversation for another day. This is why a lot of these young people that go to university, that go into, you know, go to study from China. You have your son who's studying out there. When they come back to your church, guess what they will tell them? You think you know everything, because you've got ancients of days that have stayed in church. And anytime a fresh wind of change comes, we're not ready. And this is why, unfortunately, the church has failed to be able to provide the best leadership template for leaders in our government to be able to follow, because we are struggling in the church.
Wow. That is very, very unfortunate scenario that we have. A very, very unfortunate, because if as a church we have failed, then we'll fail to build up our nation. No matter what may happen, the church, I love what you have said, the church should provide a prototype. The church should provide the platform for whoever, all the political people, unless if they are idol worshippers. But I know that they belong to some churches. They go to some churches. And in this church where they go, what kind of leadership model have they seen? Because that is what they should take even in their offices. What we teach the people is what should be reflected in their office. They should show them that this is what I am learning from my church. This is what my pastor taught me. This is what I am displaying here. But unfortunately, we have I don't know who has, because we don't tailor-made. Even the teachings are not tailor-made to the point that we meet the needs of the people. So we have a crisis. So this message of the new dawn leadership, it should go to the root, and the root is the church. So it should go there. And the church should begin to provide leadership direction to say, okay, sirs, this is the direction. There must be something. Let's come together. That Sunday worship is that 1 hour. It's a serious lesson that somebody can get and get inspired, get the necessary tool that can help them to go and disseminate this information in their constituencies, in their offices, in whatsoever direction that they may go. So the bottom line for this topic is to go back to the root. So, coach, we have a mandate and we have a duty. And the duty that is there is, let's begin to go to the basics. And the basics is, let's begin to inspire and tell the people that you are a leader and you can do it in a godly way and ensure that you bring out the godly result that is expected of you. So this will help us now to check what kind of leadership that we are seeing in the political arena, in the business arena. Because the church, we have not done much even with the business people. That's how some of the business people thought, I can mix my business with this other worldly thing. And they excel in that area because we have not taught the church biblical principles or godly way to do business. We have not taught them. And that is another crisis that has come also in church. So to me, as I think as a church, we have a bigger role. We should, in this new dawn, there is so much resourceful information that must be given on all the major platforms, especially if we start now. And I love that this platform that we have, it's a church oriented, but it's not approaching it in that way. It's becoming so much in the neutral and says, guys, this is not the name of the church, but this is what we are able to offer. We are able to offer direction, and we are able to offer information that can bring transformation to the nation. So if we embrace this, it can help us. This is a school, and I believe that it's bringing out relevant information that can transform. So since we are talking about leadership, it's important to understand that there are few things that we need to bring out to the table. Like we have said, that a good leader is a good communicator. Communicate your thoughts very well. Communicate your vision very well. Communicate your ideas very well. Unfortunately, also, we have ushered in people that cannot even express themselves. We have allowed them to rule us. And this also, as people, we should also start also taking our own responsibility for our own failures, for pushing people that are not able to express themselves. What is it that is going to say?
Correct.
So the blame sometimes should come on us. We should not just push in somebody just because they are able to just stand and they are able to get some massive support from the people. But let's have people that can stand and express themselves, share their ideas, share their vision, share. And also, we should also have leaders that are able to tell the people, this is, apart from voting for me, apart from casting your vote, this is what I am expecting from you. Tell the people what is expected of them. Okay, so to me, this is what is going to help us to have things done, because it is not true that Bali is going to fix everything. That's not true. He's just an individual. He needs people around him, and he needs even the people that are saying he's going to fix it, so that we fix it together. Don't think of what the country is going to do for you. Think of what you are going to do for the country. I think that's the mentality that we should also have.
I love that. And I think I'm just going to piggyback on what you said regarding the people. You know, I think the task we have to be able to transform our country is just not for the leadership. It's also making sure that each one of us understands the responsibility, that each one of us is a leader in our own right. You know, coming from your homes, coming from your houses, how do you lead? Of course, we're going to talk about family, because that's where also leadership is birthed. What is your
True.
responsibility in that space? The wrong people voting wrong people in government. Because if you cannot decode a quality leader, it's difficult for you. If you can't decode the quality leader, it's difficult for you to be able to hold them accountable, because you don't understand what quality looks like. You don't understand what good leadership. This is one thing I am very grateful, because I am able to tell in between who qualifies and what a quality leader looks like, and an average leader, someone who is not supposed to be given responsibility, to be able to lead and take charge of a country or an organization, because we don't understand what it looks like. When I talk about transformational visionary leadership, it's got certain critical components, and these are some of the components that it has. It creates an inspiring vision. Transformational leadership, visionary leadership, it creates an inspiring vision. If we're gonna have leadership that changes the game, starting from the head, our president, His Excellence, coming to his ministers, his PSS, and everyone. A tone has to be set that if you're going to lead in this government, you can't say it's a new dawn if there's no vision.
Correct.
Because remember, that's what we spent the last 7 years debating. That's been the conversation of the last 7 years. To say a person was honest enough to tell you, I don't have vision, but because you just wanted what you wanted, you put him in a position. And the lack of visionary leadership and inspiring vision has brought us to a place where we are, where this country became a free for all. You can come and just cut a piece of this country, because there's no leadership. There's nothing. There's no template that has been set to say if you're gonna lead. And remember what we spoke about last week, when the president says, if you are aspiring for leadership, set your soul. Now,
Good.
that's setting a tone. That is setting an expectation to say, if you work with me, these are the expectations you have set. If you're going to be part of this team, if you're going to be part of this leadership, these are the expectations. So transformational visionary leadership creates an inspiring vision. It motivates and inspires people to engage with the vision. It's one thing to be able to say, this is the vision, but it's your responsibility as a leader to begin to say, hey guys, this is how we get this dream done. This is how we work it. This is how we make this vision effective and tangible. And then the other one is, how do you deliver the vision that you have? What's the strategy of this vision? And then the other one is, how do you coach and train your team? How do you prepare this? One of the things that I enjoyed and I loved, I think I heard Dr. Mumba say this a couple of years ago when he was vice president. I'm told he used to do, I think that time I was at Victory Bible College. I think that, yeah, when he was vice president, and I remember he shared a story that he would do public speaking sessions for members of parliament when he was vice president.
Wow.
Now, this is why we need the right leaders in government. This is why we need the right people. Now, this is why also I strongly believe that I think this country has been unfair to Dr. Mumba and many leaders like him. Because leaders like that come with a higher agenda. So they are 2% of the 100%. So you are a 2% trying to convince a 98% that don't believe in visionary leadership. They don't believe in developing themselves. They don't believe in preparing themselves to lead at another level. Because what we do in this country, I have a desire, so I will lead. But we don't take the time to prepare ourselves for the leadership that will be able to change the face of our country. So those are things we need to work around. Those are the things we need to change. How do you coach? Well, I'm not sure if, I love Bali, but I'm not sure if he's got the ability to do some of those things. And I don't know anyone, and I could be wrong. I am yet to see anyone qualified to be able to fit in those roles. Because also the qualities of a leader, like I mentioned, is to be able to get excellent people to help
Skilled
you
people.
execute your vision, and you step aside. And the credit comes back to leaders. And now I'm going to share with these points that I've shared over the years in leadership. I've always loved this point. It says, when a team wins, the leader shares the credits and points to his team. But when his team loses, the leader takes responsibility. So when my team do well, I clap and I shine the light on my team. When the team loses, I point at myself and I take full responsibility that we didn't do well, and I take full responsibility. So excellent leaders don't put the blame on other people. They take the blame. I failed. I didn't do right. And
Wow.
that's what I expect in this new dawn leadership. As we wind up your closing remarks, but before I come to you, Sanderson, are you there?
Is Sanderson around?
It's quiet. You can take it over, sir.
It's quiet. Yeah. Thank you so much, Coach. I think you have 7 points. Of course, you have just shared 3, which have come out. I was actually following and hearing those points. I thought maybe you come to point number 4 or 5, but you ended up on point number 3, which is very, very cardinal. And you have cited some of the examples that are required. Now, in the new dawn, what kind of expectation that do we want? We have already said, number 1, we want leadership that is able to influence the people. And number 2, we want good communicators that are going to communicate their vision, their ideas, their interest, their passion to the people, and also tell the people what they want them to do. And I want to close with your 3rd point that you have brought out. A leader must be able to inspire others. And I think this is what is important. We are expecting a lot of inspiration, motivation from our own leaders that are going to educate the masses, because a lot of people got discouraged with a lot of things in this life. So we need the leadership that is going to encourage, not apart from churches, but also in the political arena, encouraging with good results. Encouraging, because all the news that we are hearing now, we are just hearing recovery. That's what we are hearing. So we want to hear an exemplary leader that they are going to do something different with what we have already been introduced to. So we want leaders that are going to inspire the people, to motivate the people to continue doing the right thing. A lot of people lost interest, they lost integrity, they lost credibility. All these things were completely out of place. But now, those that were doing right in their own small way, they need to be encouraged with a new kind of leadership that is coming in place. They need to be inspired, and they need to be encouraged to say, keep on doing the right thing. You'll be rewarded at the end of the day. So we want to see a leadership that is going to influence other people to accomplish great goals. Not only great goals to you have done great, but at the end of the day, what you have collected for yourself is actually more than what you have done. So let's not be hiding in little achievement that we portray to the people, but let achievements be pure and clear, that are coming from a clean heart and a pure mind, with a mindset of developing the nation. I think when we do it like that, it will be good. Not with the mentality to say, now I am in this position, I'll collect all I can so that I can sit on the can so that no one can open that can. But unfortunately, we are seeing things that are coming up. So you don't have to hide. Be a leader that is going to be a ladder in order to inspire others, in order for others to achieve their goals, to achieve their great destinies. So we want to see the leadership that is going to say, Coach, steady, you are skilled in this area. We will inspire you so that your potentials can come to its platform. We want to see those young ones that were voting with their gowns, that apart from you voting, we can also create this environment for you so that you achieve what God gave inside you. You bring it out, because great leaders, they create a great platform for their followers. And that's what we want to see. So if we can see this, to me, I think we are heading somewhere. Now you have provoked the situation to say the leadership crisis is not only in the political arena, but it's also in the spiritual arena with the people that are representing God. What should be the mindset of the church leader and also governmental leaders? That is my own question that I've left with for tonight.
Now, I'm gonna say something as we wind up with the last statement. I just want to look for something. So there's a story in the Bible that really, I'm speaking to leadership. I'm speaking to leadership. There's a story in the Bible in Samuel that talks about when David was picked as king. Now, I pray that we get back to those days when there was oil on your life and you were assigned to speak to power. You didn't compromise. Those are powerful things. The oil will not rest until I pick the right king. So my voice as a leader, as a coach, or from coming from faith as a leader in that space, we need to be leaders that are showing an example, so that when we speak to the nation will listen.
Yeah.
If we say, "Thus says the Lord," the nation will be able to listen, because they can trust our voice and they can trust our judgment. There's why church leadership has failed this country. Why church leadership has failed this country is that the church leaders are trading the oil for cars, for contracts, for recognition to put on their CV that I was hanging out with the leaders. If we must lead and influence the president of his country, Hakainde Hichilema, his cabinet, his leaders, we need leaders from the church that have got a template. How are you going to talk to Bali about no third term when you in church, you don't have a succession plan? How are you going to talk about leadership when you've been on that seat, Wamuyayaya? You're not even thinking about passing on the baton to the next generation. If I run two organizations and my prayer has already started, I have a bit of gray hair, but guess what I do every day, Pastor Chris, is God send me the right people I can pass on the assignment.
Wow. I wish young people can hear that.
I'm in that season of my life and I'm preparing, and this is why I value relationships with the right people. But also, to be fair, Pastor Chris, a lot of our young people need to tame out their appetites. A lot of our young people need the patience. They need to stay with a leader over times. You can't show up. When I went to serve under my mentor and my leader, I gave up all I ever wanted. I actually never even wanted to stand on the pulpit. I wanted to serve in the background.
Wow.
That's how much I honored him. That's how much I respected. But these days, a lot of young people are competing with their fathers,
which is very unfortunate.
So there's a lot of these leadership issues that we need to fix. There's a lot of these things that we need to work on, so that if the church has to be a voice, we need to make sure that we put our house in order, because that's the only way we begin to change this country. So to the president, his cabinet, what we are simply saying is that we need leadership that inspires. We need leadership that has set standards, and we'll say we will not go below the standard. If we've said we don't want cadres in the market, it's a standard. I am willing for you to kick me out in the next election because I said no to cadres. We need leaders that have got the guts to be able to say, I am willing to sacrifice my presidents to serve the people of this country. I am willing to set a standard so high, because one of the things you need to understand as a leader is when you set a standard that's so high, it will attract haters. People will not like you. But that's the type of leader we want. A leader who's willing to say, I'm okay. You don't like me? I'm good. But I will do what is right. I am willing to sacrifice my affection, your affection, to serve a greater need, to serve and build for legacy. That's what I challenge the president of our country. That's what I'm challenging the president of our country. Set the standard so high. Set your expectations so high. Pick men. And great, just because someone has got a powerful, rich CV with more degrees than a thermometer doesn't mean they'll be able to lead well. You can pick a guy somewhere. You can pick a young woman from nowhere, but they have a heart of God, and they are able to help you deliver as a leader and as a president of this country. So that's what I wanted to say tonight. So everyone that, by the way, we were selfish. It was just like you and I having a conversation. Thank you for everybody that joined in. Thank you. You know, we forgot about you. It was just like we were having a conversation. It was a family meeting on a dinner table, you know, and you were just eavesdropping on our conversation. But that's what we wanted to look like. So thank you so much for joining in. We're coming back next week. We're talking about new dawn mindset. So we're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about family. We're going to talk about the church. I think we need to talk about the church. What type of church do we want to see in the new dawn? New dawn mindset, the church, the mind of a church, the mind of entrepreneurs, the mind of business people, the mind of politicians. That's what we're going to be looking at. So we've defined what leadership looks like. Now we're going to go deep and look at some of those elements to our conversation. So thank you so much for joining in. God bless you and have an amazing... By the way, where's your church, Pastor Chris? If somebody's in Chipata.
Wow, in Chipata. In Chipata, number one, we are behind ShopRite. That's where we have our structure that we are putting up. We have another fellowship at the police chapel. We have gone into partnership with the police, where we are meeting at the chapel there. So that's the only church that you'd find in town. It's right at the center there where there is a chapel. You would find us there. And then you would also find us at Longwekers Lodge, right in Lusaka there. That would be of a great blessing. Just come around in Lusaka at Longwekers Lodge. It would be of a great blessing to have you and to worship with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everybody. Blessings.